The Edge of Night.
I won't eat.
Now, what good is that gonna do you, huh?
Take it away. Take it.
Oh, come on,
Take it.
lady, come on.
Away.
Okay, I'll tell you what. I'll talk to the doctor, and if the doctor says the bandages come off, the bandages come off. But I wouldn't count on it.
Now I know why they call that flight the red eye. I mean, it's really rough getting in at that hour in the morning, you know.
Did you manage to get any sleep at all?
Well, I grabbed a couple of Z's on the plane, but you really can't get too much out of a 3-hour flight.
All right, you might as well go home and sack out for a while. You're not going to be any use to us here in your condition.
Well, it's not just jet lag, Chief. I'm sure you know that.
Yeah, I know. Coming back without Mike or Nancy.
Yeah. I just hope we did the right thing, leaving him out there all by himself.
You couldn't have talked Mike into coming home.
No, that's true. He didn't want to come back. He wanted to stay out there. Although after yesterday, I don't know.
What happened yesterday?
Well, we had to go see a body in the morgue, and it wasn't Nancy, thank God, but it really shook him up a lot.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I'm sure it did.
I mean, there's just nothing you can do, you know? I mean, you sit and you wait. You wait for the phone to ring, or you wait to go visit the morgue again, and I don't know, the clock just seems to tick so slowly when you're in that kind of situation.
Calvin, what do you think of the situation?
Honestly?
Honestly.
Well, Chief, you know how these things are. I think it's hopeless.
Doc says it's okay.
Oh, thank God.
Only for a little while. Only if you behave yourself.
Just take it off.
And they come off only during mealtime or when one of us is with you. Is that clear? That's the girl. Like I told you, this is for your own protection. We wouldn't want anyone to see you, would we? We have to protect your privacy.
Please. Could you do something for me, please?
Now what?
My husband, he must think I'm dead. Could someone tell him I'm alive?
Eat your breakfast, Mrs. Karr.
Are you Bobbie?
It's me.
Hi. Do you have a minute? Could you sit down?
Do I know you?
Well, no, we haven't met.
Oh, what is it then? I mean, what do you want?
Oh, I just wanted to talk to you about a mutual friend, Matt Sharkey.
Who told you I know Sharkey?
Oh, well, it's not exactly top secret information. I just wanted to ask you a couple questions.
Look, Sharkey and I broke up. A long time ago. I haven't had anything to do with him since.
Oh, do you know that he moved out of his rooming house?
Probably had him evicted for ruining the neighborhood.
Yeah. Well, do you have any idea where I could find him?
No, I don't know where Sharkey is, and you know what? I could care even less. Besides, I have other boyfriends.
No, look, I don't want you to get angry or anything. It's just very important that I find him. Oh, okay, look, maybe you can't help me find him, but maybe you can help me some other way.
I don't know how.
Well, you could tell me if another woman's been in here, maybe sometime earlier this week, looking for Sharkey?
No.
You sure?
Positive.
Her name's Nancy Karr. Does that ring a bell?
Never heard of her.
I got a picture. That might help you.
Look, the only one who's been looking for Sharkey has been you. Been nice talking to you.
Yeah, pleasure's all mine.
You're very tense, Mrs. Karr. You need to relax.
Oh, no, please.
Just think of this stuff as sleep.
Oh, no, get that away.
No, Mrs. Karr. I know you don't like those straps. As soon as the medicine takes effect, we'll take them off.
Oh, why are you doing this?
Just following doctor's orders, Mrs. Karr.
Oh, this is wrong. You can't keep... You can't keep me a prisoner here.
Nighty-night, Mrs. Karr. Sleep tight.
She is not my favorite patient.
Me neither. Can't blame her for putting up a scrap, considering what's happening to her, huh?
I just hope we haven't painted ourselves into a corner having her here.
The doc didn't have any other choice, did he?
No, I suppose not.
It seems to me he's never going to have a choice. There's only one way out of this. And you know that as well as I do.
I don't want to hear that again.
She's got to really disappear, Mrs. B. For good.
You know, Derek, maybe I should just hand the reins over to George Walling. Let him continue as assistant DA until this thing is resolved.
Oh, Mike, you wouldn't do that. Come on, I thought you liked us here in Monticello.
I know Walling is no genius, but at least he'd be able to concentrate on the job.
Well, that's just what we don't need. An idiot concentrating.
I know what you mean. Well, I'll try again tomorrow. Maybe by then, they'll get used to the idea. I know I'll never get used to the idea. I'll never stop thinking about Nancy. I've got to find out what's happened to her.
What's the matter now?
Nothing.
Don't you like to mystery me?
I'm not hungry.
I'm never hungry.
No one can have an appetite in this place.
What if I told you it was roast beef, huh? What if I told you it was veal?
I can't eat. I can't.
Look, Mrs. Karr, why are you trying to make trouble for me? I told you to forget about the hunger strike. The doc just isn't going to go for it.
Tell him I want to see him. Tell him I want to talk to him.
You think if you starve yourself, he's going to come running in here and hold your hand?
I haven't seen the doctor.
Well, he doesn't want to see you, lady. Can't you get that through your head? Now, why don't you just eat, okay? Because if you don't, you know what happens. We do the old mummy routine again.
I don't care. You do it. I'm not going to eat.
You know, Mrs. Karr, this is a nice, Easy job for me. Why are you trying to make it hard? If you don't eat, I gotta call in Beth. We gotta put you under wraps. We gotta put an IV in your arm.
I want to see the doctor.
Well, you can't. You already had your chance.
Yes, I had my chance.
What is it?
My name is Nancy Karr. I'm a reporter on the Monticello News, but I'm here on a personal matter. Anyway, these are my credentials. I tried reaching the clinic by phone, but I found out it isn't listed.
Yeah, this is a private hospital, Mrs. Karr.
I was wondering if I could talk to one of the employees.
I'm sorry, there's no visitors allowed.
Sir, could I possibly talk with the doctor in charge? I'm sure he wouldn't mind talking to me.
Okay, wait a minute. Dr. Bryson, there's a lady out here. She says she's from a newspaper.
A reporter? Well, what does she want?
Tell her to go away.
Didn't you tell her this was a private institution?
Yes, sir. I told her she wants to come in anyway. She said that you wouldn't mind talking to the press.
What in God's name does she want here?
Get rid of her, Kenneth. This is no time to talk to someone like that.
Maybe we have to talk to her, just to find out what she knows. Wally, bring the lady to my office.
Yes, sir. Okay, Mrs. Karr. Come on. You got the green light.
Thank you.
Stop right there. This one.
Okay, Mrs. Karr. If you want to starve yourself, that's okay with me. Who knows? Maybe it's not too bad an idea. You know, Mrs. Karr, if I walk out of here with that tray, I walk back in with good old Beth and the IV, and I know you're not too fond of either one. So what's it gonna be, huh? It's your last chance. It's your funeral.
I hope you understand, Mrs. Karr. There are certain aspects of the medical profession in which privacy plays a very important part of the therapy.
Well, I'm sure that's true in some cases.
Yes, well, it happens to be true in all of our cases.
You do know what sort of a clinic this is, of course.
No, actually, I don't.
I'm a plastic surgeon. Although, in truth, a great deal of my work could be considered cosmetic surgery. Which is why most of my patients demand complete discretion.
I see.
You see, we get some very well-known people here, Mrs. Karr. Politicians, movie stars, important executives.
Yes, these are people who need to appear younger for professional reasons. We do everything possible to remove the outward signs of aging. It's a very valid desire.
Well, I'm sure there's nothing wrong with that.
Oh, in fact, there's a great deal more openness these days about cosmetic surgery. Many people don't mind admitting to it.
Yes, but others would rather not have people know about it.
Yes, that's why we at the Rexford like to keep a very low profile. That's our little institutional joke, Mrs. Karr.
Yes, I see. Of course, Dr. Bryson also does regular facial surgery.
Yes, on occasion I try to correct deformities, cleft palates, automobile accident, disfigurations.
You see, we're not looking for patients, Mrs. Karr. So the last thing we want is newspaper publicity.
Oh, I'm sorry. I had hoped I'd made myself understood because, you see, I really didn't know anything about the Rexford other than you employ a man here by the name of Matthew Sharkey.
I see. Well, what did you want with him?
Well, I wanted to talk to him, Miss...
This is Mrs. Bryson. You know, it's rather a nice arrangement having one's own wife as one's nurse.
Yes, I'm sure it is. I wanted to talk to him about his previous job up at the Hathaway Pavilion at Monticello General.
The psychiatric wing?
That's right. There was a patient there, a girl I knew, who left before she should have.
Well, what does that have to do with Sharkey?
Well, he helped her to get away.
Oh, are you implying that he did something illegal?
No, not at all. All I want is the chance to talk to him. I promise you that I won't do anything to cause trouble for him or for the clinic.
Well, then why are you writing about him?
No, I'm not writing anything. It's a strictly personal matter, and I really don't have too much time because I'm supposed to be on a plane to San Francisco in less than 3 hours.
Oh. Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, Mrs. Karr, but Mr. Sharkey doesn't work here anymore.
He doesn't? When did he leave?
Oh, almost right after he got here. Isn't that right, Doctor?
Oh, yes, that's right. He didn't seem to be the sort of person we wanted at the Rexford.
Do you know where he went?
No, he didn't say, and frankly, we weren't curious.
Well, did he happen to leave a forwarding address?
No, nothing, I'm afraid.
How long ago was this?
Oh, it must be almost a month now. Isn't that right, Doctor?
Yes, almost a month. I'm terribly sorry, Mrs. Karr.
Yes, Doctor, so am I.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, and thank you.
Mrs. Karr. I saw your tray, Mrs. Karr, and I'm not too happy about it.
I can't help it.
Now, we serve very good food here. I mean, this isn't some poor city hospital where all the food tastes like cardboard. As a matter of fact, I supervise the kitchen myself.
I can't eat. You keep me locked up in this room here, tied to this bed. If I try to stand, I fall.
I have told you that if you're a good patient, you will be allowed out for a little walk now and then. It is just not convenient for the time being.
Please. I've got to see the doctor.
But, Mrs. Karr, I have seen Dr. Bryson, and he told me that if I give the word, you will be force-fed for your own good. Now, that can be very unpleasant, Mrs. Karr. Please, don't make me do it. All right, Sharkey. Your turn.
Okay. Here we go again. Let's sit up.
Thank you. Excuse me. Could I ask you a question?
Yeah, sure.
Why is the fence electrified?
To keep people out, lady. What else?
Or maybe to keep people in?
No, the patients can go out anytime. I mean, some of them even go into town, you know, where their bandage is still on. Yeah, they look real spooky.
Yes. Isn't it a little dangerous, though, for this to be electrified in case there are children in the neighborhood?
Oh, now, don't you worry. They won't touch it twice.
Oh. Has anyone touched it yet?
Yeah, who knows? We only installed it 10 days ago. Yeah, I put up the sign myself. See you around.
Mm-hmm. Thanks again.
Yeah.
About a month ago. Unless they weren't telling the truth. Well, how do I get back inside?
Mike, hear me. Mike, I'm alive. I'm only a few miles away from you. Oh, dear God, if I could only see you again. If I could only go back. Just a few days.
All I want is the chance to talk to him. I promise you that I won't do anything to cause trouble for him or for the clinic.
Well, then why are you writing about him?
No, I'm not writing anything. It's a strictly personal matter, and I really don't have too much time because I'm supposed to be on a plane to San Francisco in less than 3 hours.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, Mrs. Karr, but Mr. Sharkey doesn't work here anymore.
He doesn't? When did he leave?
Oh, almost right after he got here. Isn't that right, Doctor?
Oh, yes. Yes, that's right. He didn't seem to be the sort of person we wanted at the Rexford.
Do you know where he went?
No. He didn't say, and frankly, we weren't curious.
Well, did he happen to leave a forwarding address?
No. Nothing, I'm afraid.
Oh. How long ago was this?
Oh, it must be almost a month now. Isn't that right, Doctor?
Yes, almost a month. I'm terribly sorry, Mrs. Karr.
Yes, Doctor, so am I.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, and thank you.
Mrs. Karr?
They were lying. They were lying.
Isn't it a little dangerous, though, for this to be electrified in case there are children in the neighborhood?
Oh, now, don't you worry. They won't touch it twice.
Oh. Has anyone touched it yet?
Yeah, who knows? We only installed it 10 days ago. Yeah, I put up the sign myself. See you around.
Mm-hmm. Thanks again.
Yeah.
Sharkey left about a month ago. Unless they weren't telling the truth. Well, how do I get back inside?
How can I get out of here? Oh, Mike. Oh, Mike.
Last night, I dreamt that We were in the car together, and we pulled up in front of this beautiful country inn, and I took the bags inside, and when I came out, she wasn't there. She wasn't anywhere.
I've had bad dreams of my own lately, as you know, but I've at least had a happy awakening. I'm sure you will, too.
Yeah.
Look, how is Kelly bearing up with all this?
He's very upset.
I'm sure he is.
He's really grown to love Nancy. Fortunately, he's quite involved with your sister-in-law.
Yeah, I imagine Jody is quite a comfort. She certainly was to me.
Nancy regretted not knowing Jody better.
Yeah, she would like her. She would like her.
Yes, I'm sure she would have. It's starting to happen, Miles. I knew it would. I'm beginning to talk about Nancy in the past tense.
I should have checked the records, called the police. Why would the police be interested in Dr. Bryson or Matt Sharkey?
What can I do for you, man?
Well, maybe you could help me. I'm trying to get in touch with somebody who works in there. Oh, would you mind telling me your name?
Name's Sharkey, man.
Mr. Sharkey. Oh, well, Dr. Bryson told me that you had left the clinic.
Yeah, well, I just went out of town to get some supplies. I'm coming back right now.
Oh, I see. Well, actually, Mr. Sharkey, you're just the person I wanted to talk to.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, my name is Nancy Karr.
Nancy Karr?
Yeah, you probably have seen. I do the WMON news. But believe me, the questions I want to ask you have nothing to do with that at all. I mean, it's strictly off the record.
Yeah, well, look, it's kind of cold out there, isn't it? Why don't you just come inside and we can talk?
Come on. Thank you. Thanks very much.
What's this all about? Why are you bothering me?
Oh, please.
First you go snooping around the silver spoon, and now you do. What are you trying to do? Get me fired?
Oh,
huh?
you're hurting me.
Not as bad as I'm going to hurt you if you don't tell me what you want. They don't like nosy people around here. Lady!
Dr. Bryson!
What's going on? Mrs. Karr, what are you doing here?
Ira Gideon. You're Ira Gideon.
Ira Gideon. That's why they lied.
Morning. What do you mean morning? It's after 12. You're almost an hour late.
No, I just couldn't get started this morning.
Yeah, well, you better get started now because the lunch crowd will be here any minute.
Yeah, all three of them.
What did you do last night anyway? I know you didn't go skating because you left your skates here.
I don't know. I was just too tired. Maybe I'll go tonight.
Well, why don't you just skate right on back there and get to your little uniform? Because here comes somebody now.
You take care of yourself.
Bobbie! Well, what do you know? You must have liked the food.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the food.
Well, why don't you sit right over here and I'll fetch you a menu.
Oh, that's okay. I'll wait for Bobbie. Thanks.
She went to change, but I'll take your order. Special today, salmon steak.
Mrs. Karr?
Dr. Bryson. Oh, I've been begging them to have you come here.
Well, here I am. I can see by that tray that what they tell me is true. You're simply not eating, are you?
I can't eat, Doctor.
You keep me locked in here with my head in those bandages, and you keep drugging me all the time.
Please, Mrs. Karr. The situation isn't any more comfortable for us than it is for you. But you made it necessary, and I cannot and will not permit you to make it worse.
Doctor, don't you understand? My stomach can't accept much food.
Well, maybe you need some exercise. All right. If you promise to behave, I'll have Sharkey walk you up and down the corridors several times a day. But it will have to be under very strict schedule.
I can only think of my husband. By now, he must think that I'm dead, don't you understand?
At the moment, you're simply described as missing.
Doctor, isn't there some way you could get word to him? Whatever way you would choose, just to let him know that I'm all right.
It's out of the question.
I mean, you wouldn't tell him where I am or what's happening, just to reassure him.
Mrs. Karr, it simply can't be done. Not now.
Oh, how long is this going to go on? How long am I going to be a prisoner here?
Well, what you really don't appreciate, Mrs. Karr, is the fact that we are your prisoners just as much as you are ours. You know, it pains me very much, Mrs. Karr, but please understand, you brought it on yourself.
What's this all about? Why are you bothering me?
Oh, but please,
First you go snooping around the silver spoon, and now you're here. What are you trying to do? Get me fired, huh?
You're hurting me.
Not as bad as I'm going to hurt you if you don't tell me what you want. They don't like nosy people around here. Lady!
Dr. Bryson!
What's going on? Mrs. Karr, what are you doing here?
Gideon. You're Ira Gideon.
Doc, it wasn't my fault. She pushed right past me, went right through the gate. I couldn't stop her.
Beth! Beth!
Yes.
Take Mr. Kincaid down to his room at once.
Yes, of course. This way, Mr. Kincaid, please.
Sharkey, sit her down and then go out and close the door.
Are you sure you want me to leave? I mean, she might try something.
All right. You might as well stay. There's not much as you don't know at this point.
I would like to explain something. The only reason I came here was to discuss some personal matters with this orderly, Mr. Sharkey.
Why the hell did you come back? That's what I want to know.
Because I thought you were mistaken about when he left this clinic. I have a photograph of him.
Oh, she may have a gun, Doc.
That is ridiculous. I'm not with the police. I'm a reporter.
In this instant, Mrs. Karr, that's just as critical.
Yeah, she was telling the truth. This is my picture. So where'd you get it? Did Bobbie give it to you?
Doctor, you told me that Mr. Sharkey left this clinic about a month ago. But that sign was put up only about 10 days ago.
You tracked me down, huh? What's so important you had to track me down?
Look, the questions I have to ask you are very important, but I haven't got the slightest intention of doing any kind of story about this clinic.
No, but you have a story now, don't you, Mrs. Karr?
Hey, wait a second. What is all this? What kind of story are you talking about, Doc? Huh?
That man, his name is Ira Gideon, and he's an embezzler. He's wanted by the police. Oh, wait a minute. There's more to it than that, though, isn't there? Our doctor is a plastic surgeon. You're going to change his looks, aren't you?
Doctor, Mr. Kincaid is very upset. You may have to give him a sedative.
You mean Mr. Gideon, huh?
You mean this idiot knows as well as our lady reporter?
God, how can things go so wrong so quickly?
Kenneth, Mr. Gideon wants to know what we're going to do. He wants to be sure that he's not in any danger.
Yeah, well, he will be if we let her go. All right, what in God's name are we going to do with her?
Doc, there's no problem. You just give her one of those needles of yours.
Shut up! I don't want to hear another word out of you, Sharkey. This whole damn mess is your fault.
I was just trying to be practical, Doc.
All right, I'll give you something practical to do. Take Mrs. Karr down to one of the little rooms in the old wing. Has a key. One of these.
Right, I'll do that.
Right now.
Right now? I'll do that right now, Doc.
Well, Kenneth, what happens to that $1 million fee now?
Oh, well, we'll just have to hold her here until this surgery's completed, until Gideon's face is healed and he can leave the clinic.
And what happens if they come looking for Mrs. Karr?
Well, I can't think of everything.
Well, we had better. Is this her bag? What's this? An airline ticket.
I better go and see Gideon. Reassure him that nothing has changed.
Kenneth, close the door. Look at this. Don't you remember what Mrs. Karr said? That she was scheduled on a flight in a couple of hours.
Well, she's going to miss her flight.
What if she doesn't? What if she does fly to San Francisco?
As I said, Mrs. Karr, you brought it on yourself.
Unforgivable! Damn it! You told me all the arrangements had been made, including security.
It was completely unexpected, Mr. Gideon.
What I want to know is, what should I expect next? What in God's name are you going to do with this woman?
Believe me, she represents no danger to you.
Yes, that's what Dr. Bryson keeps telling me, but she's still here. And all she has to do is step 1 foot outside that gate.
Mrs. Karr is not leaving, Mr. Gideon. Not before you do.
But that may be weeks. Even after the operation, the healing process.
We will keep her here as long as necessary. Isn't that right, Doctor?
Oh, yes, of course we will. Although there is another alternative. You could leave as soon as I remove the stitches, but that would mean traveling in bandages.
And looking like a man in hiding? No, thank you. I'm sure the police aren't stupid enough to have accepted my suicide at face value. I'm sure they're still on the lookout.
Mrs. Karr will be taken care of. Please, take my word for it.
She is well known here. Don't you realize? The Monticello newspapers cover her disappearance every single day.
Yes, but she did not disappear in Monticello. That is the important point. They're not looking for her here.
Yes, that's true. Thanks to Beth.
Well, it was fortunate that Mrs. Karr and I have the same hair color.
Enjoy your flight. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Miss Karr? Smoking or non-smoking?
Non-smoking, please.
All right. That's it. Yes, I have a nice window seat for you.
Thank you.
Have a good flight.
Thank you. I had a very nice flight. Although I kept myself quite busy. Would you like some coffee or tea?
Coffee, regular?
Nothing for me, please.
Okay. Ma'am, would you like some coffee or tea?
Oh, nothing, thank you.
What a lovely bracelet.
Oh, thank you. It was a Christmas gift from my husband.
Oh, I wish I had a husband with taste like that.
Thank you. Wasn't it nice of Mr. Karr to have given his wife such an unusual bracelet? Everybody noticed it.
That's $7.50 on the middle, lady, plus $1 for the tolls.
Here you are.
Thank you.
Keep the change.
Thank you. Have a nice time in San Francisco.
Oh, thank you. That's why everyone in the country thinks Mrs. Karr has disappeared somewhere out there, Mr. Gideon. Just as you did.
But I'm here. And I don't want anything to go wrong. So you get your problems straightened up right now.
Why didn't you eat it all, Mrs. Karr? Didn't you like the food? You know, our chef is an excellent cook, you know. The Rexford prides itself on the quality of its cuisine.
Yes, I'm sure it's a very lovely place.
Well, it is, usually. We have very distinguished patients. You'd be surprised at some of the well-known faces that have come here to be, shall we say, restored.
Oh, I don't doubt that you know your job well.
You're quite right. I know my field very well. You know, the Rexford Clinic is not a factory, Mrs. Karr. Nor do I deal only in cosmetic surgery. I perform a great many operations for correctional purposes. Many of them for charity cases.
Oh, is that what I am, a charity case? Because I'm certainly not paying for this.
I would have been very proud to have had a hand in creating a face as beautiful as yours, Mrs. Karr. And I'm also very proud to say that I've helped a great many people, some of them youngsters, who would have gone through life suffering because of their deformities.
Doctor, why are you defending yourself to me?
Because, my dear young woman, you obviously think that I'm some sort of criminal.
Ira Gideon is a criminal, and you knew exactly what you were doing when you admitted him here.
A patient is a patient. His motives are none of my business. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Doctor, please, can't you... Could you please let my husband know?
Bobbie, can I talk to you for a minute?
Can't you see I'm working?
Can't you see I'm a customer?
Look, I told you everything I had to say. Then why can't you leave me alone?
Look, all I want is a couple minutes. If you don't give me that, I'll just keep coming back here till you do.
It's your stomach, honey.
And my debt will be on your conscience.
Okay, 2 minutes. But listen, you know, you really shouldn't bug me about Matt Sharkey. He's not worth finding.
How well do you know the guy?
I know him well enough to know that he goes after what he wants until he gets it, and then he leaves you flat. Get my drift?
Well, you obviously don't care much about the guy. What difference does it make to you if you tell me where I can find him?
Because I can't, okay?
Why can't you?
Because he doesn't want to be found.
How do you know that? Did he tell you that?
Gee, one of your ancestors must have been a mule.
Oh, come on. You can tell me. Was he doing something wrong? Is he doing something illegal?
He's working in one of those places that doesn't want publicity. It's one of those private hospitals with a lot of famous people, you know, and they don't want people knowing. Now, do you understand?
No, not really.
Look, Sharkey's making a lot of money in this place, and if there's one thing Sharkey loves, it's the green stuff.
Well, I have absolutely no intention of making the guy lose his job. All I wouldn't do is talk to him.
Well, you still haven't told me why.
Well, it's personal.
I didn't think you were trying to sell him a car.
Look, do you want me to pay you for the information? If that's what you want.
Look, I'll tell you what I want. I want you to forget you ever heard or saw this name, okay? Can you do me that favor? I may not make as much as Sharkey, but I'd like to keep this job just the same. This yours?
How much do I owe you?
That'll be $4.53.
What, you got a roller skating rink in the back or something?
What? Oh, no, they're Bobbie's skates. She's crazy about skating. She goes to the roller rink down the street every night.
We'll simply have to move as fast as we can. I'm going to schedule the operation for tomorrow morning.
Does Featherstone know?
Well, I've asked him to come in.
Speed isn't the answer to this problem, Kenneth. You know it isn't.
Nevertheless, the faster we can get rid of Gideon, the better.
The faster he pays his fee, the better.
Come in.
You wanted to see me?
Oh, come in, Arnold. Yes, I was just telling Beth that I'm going to operate on Mr. Kincaid tomorrow morning.
Huh? What?
I'm going to operate on Mr. Kincaid tomorrow morning.
But we were going to discuss our procedures again.
Well, I think we've discussed it enough. The man's getting restless.
He's been restless since the minute he arrived here. I don't like that Mr. Kincaid, Kenneth. There's something wrong with him, something wrong about his motivation.
He is a business executive, Dr. Featherstone, and wants to look younger. That's not uncommon.
Well, you still plan on performing the skin graft?
Well, I was trying to determine how we could do without it in order to speed up the healing process, but...
what about the dermatome? Is that working properly?
Well, that's what I want you to check on immediately.
Oh.
Also bring the photographs, so we can discuss the incision lines again.
Yeah, all right. I'll be back directly. I still don't understand all this haste, Kenneth.
Please, Doctor, do as my husband asks.
All right.
Easy, Beth. We don't want Featherstone to know any more than he does. It's bad enough that Sharkey knows
I'm
our
not
business.
worried about Sharkey or that half-blind, deaf old man. It's Mrs. Karr who worries me. Maybe we should feed her intravenously.
Well, she's promised to eat.
That's not what I meant. Kenneth, it would be so simple to put something in the IV.
I don't want to hear that.
Kenneth, the problem won't be solved when Gideon leaves. She will still be here. She will still have to be dealt with. Kenneth, we will have $1 million and no way to spend it. We can't keep her a prisoner for the rest of her life.
I cannot do such a thing.
Doc Featherstone tells me you want the OR cleaned up.
Yes, that's correct. You and Wally take care of it. And be sure and do a thorough job.
I always do a thorough job, Doc.
Maybe you can't do it, Kenneth. But what about him?
Listen, kiddo, what I said before, I wasn't talking about you and Draper, but it does apply.
I prefer not to discuss it.
It kills me to see the two of you separated like that.
Miles, sometimes separations are necessary, just like yours and Nicole's.
Oh, don't you compare the two. Our separations, that's like talking about apples and oranges.
Oh, yeah, what's the big difference?
Well, for one thing, Nicole and I have to be apart for the sake of her health. You don't have any kind of excuse like that, not you and Draper.
Oh, no, I think my health is at stake here. The sight of Emily's insidious smile makes me sick. And the thought that Draper has anything to do with her baby ties knots in my stomach.
And you think separation is a cure?
This situation is hazardous to my health. The further I am from it, the better off I am.
All right, then I have a suggestion. Why don't you take a little trip?
What are you suggesting? A ski trip or something? I'm not in the mood.
No, I was thinking of a warmer climate. Something like Florida.
Something like Key West?
Listen, you could pack a little overnight case for yourself and Julia, and come down with me. This weekend.
I don't know.
I know Nicole would love to see you.
I think you would prefer to spend the time alone with Nicole.
Well, we've got the rest of our lifetimes now, remember?
Yeah, no, I think I've got to pass. I'm too busy.
You're busy? Busy doing what?
Working, for one. I have to be going back to the station every day.
On the weekends, too?
Well, there's less hustle and bustle, then I get more work done.
Come on, April, you can't bury yourself in your work. That is not a solution to the problem.
Would you stop worrying about me?
No, never.
I happen to be a big girl. I know what I'm doing, and I am doing just fine.
Well, you're not working 24 hours a day. What do you do at night to make you forget?
I've turned to alcohol. Is that what you want to hear?
Come on, I'm serious.
I happen to be interested in a lot of different things. I keep myself very busy.
What things are you interested in?
Well, as a matter of fact, I am going out this evening.
Where to?
Going roller skating.
Probably one of Cliff's harem. Look, Emily.
Hello, Draper.
Emily, what do you want?
Well, I'm not selling brushes, silly. I came to see you. I won't stay long, I promise.
Emily, you can't keep pulling stunts like this. I've made it very clear to you. I don't want you here.
Oh, I know you didn't mean that.
I do mean it. Emily, for Pete's sake, I am a guest here. You can't go barging in every time you feel like it.
Well, if you're not thrilled with the idea of my being here, I'd have no objections at all to you taking me out for dinner.
God. You don't listen to anything I say, do you? I mean, it goes in one ear and right out the other. I don't want to take you out to dinner. I never want to see you again.
But we still have to talk.
No, we don't.
And what kind of a mother-to-be do you think I am? It would be terribly inconsiderate of me to keep the father in the dark about his unborn child.
You could have phoned me.
Draper, you're just being difficult. I am here. And you're going to hear what I have to say whether you like it or not. Things couldn't be better. I am healthy and so is Draper Jr. Now, aren't you glad?
I'm overwhelmed.
Dr. Jastrow even gave me a date for the delivery. Of course, first-time pregnancies do have a tendency to be a bit...
All right, that's enough, Emily. I don't want to hear any more of this.
But I want you to know, Draper. You see, I'm hoping I can convince you to be in the delivery room with me.
You're unbelievable. You know that? Look, you came here to tell me something. You did it. Now get out!
All right, Draper.
Emily. Wait a second. Something I have to ask you.
Well, ask away. I have no secrets from you.
When you were in the Hathaway Pavilion, did you have any other friends? I mean, aside from April, Molly, and me?
What kind of a question is that?
Just a question that needs answering.
What are you suggesting?
Well, I heard from somebody that you and a man who worked at the pavilion, the two of you became very friendly.
Draper, you can't hold that against me. You just can't.
Well, that's true. I mean, there was somebody. Look, you better tell me about this.
Well, yes, there was a very kind man who saw how miserable I was. And he realized I wasn't sick anymore and that I'd be better off far away from the Hathaway. So he showed me how I could simply walk out.
Well, is that all he did?
Well, yes, that's all there is to it, I swear it. Now, what are you implying?
I'm not implying anything. It's simply a question.
If you're suspecting anything, you're wrong, Draper. You're terribly, terribly wrong. My God, you know me. You know the kind of woman I am. There's no reason for you to be jealous.
Who said I was jealous?
You're the only man I ever wanted and the only man I ever had, certainly.
Why are you getting so upset about this?
Because I want you to know that you were the only man then and the only man now, Draper.
Emily, please.
Frozen tacos, your favorite.
Oh, I'm sorry you had company. Look, I'll go take in a movie, okay?
No, stay here, Cliff.
I don't want to interrupt your dinner.
Well, if I'd known you had company, I would have brought enough for 3.
I know, I'll be on my way now. I just wanted to let Draper know how our baby is doing. Bye, Draper.
meeting you here.
Well, small world, I guess, huh?
Is it? How well do you skate? Okay, I guess. I come here almost every night. How come I've never seen you in here before?
Oh, well, maybe it's because I've never been in here before.
So what gave you the idea?
Well, you know, skating's supposed to be in, and it's good exercise, and I need to exercise my legs, you know. And I did see your skates hanging up in the restaurant, so that's what gave me the idea.
So the idea is to follow me, is that it?
No, of course not.
Have you ever had skates on before?
Sure I have. Lots of times. Oh, when I was a kid. Look, I'm not worried. They say you're, remember it all once you get on your feet, huh? So,
you get out on that floor, you're liable to break your neck.
Yeah, good. Nothing I'd like better right now than a little accident.
No offense, honey, but you're a little weird.
I don't care. Maybe if I hurt myself, it'll also get rid of my problem.
What problem?
I'm gonna have a baby and I don't want it.
A baby?
Yeah, Matt Sharkey's baby.
The Edge of Night.